Hi, welcome. My name's Christina Cunningham. I'm an internet marketer and ideal life vision coach. Thanks for being here today. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about analysing your audience and connecting with the people who you're selling your products to. So this builds on my previous post where we went through the 5 steps to define the people who you want to connect with, looking at their characteristics, where they hang out, what their pain points are, what their needs are, and what their wants are. So today, we're going to take all of that work that you've done, because it's really good and incredibly useful, and we're going to dial it up a notch. So when you've done, when you did all of that work, you probably put it in a series of lists and all of that, and you've got all the information there, but there's not a connection. There's no emotional connection between you and, those series of lists and, items that you've put there. What you can do is to actually develop that into, a physical and word picture that will help you really see the people who you're wanting to connect with and to sell your products to as real, living, breathing people. And so you can then, really feel like you're working with them a lot better, and they become real to you rather than, just this nameless, faceless, group of things with a wallet. Okay, so if you can actually think about your customers as real people and really want to connect with them and have them at the center of what it is that you're doing, then I suggest that you do this exercise. And it's to develop a thing called a customer avatar or a client avatar or your ideal client or a persona. There's so many different words. The idea behind it is that you put all of that research that you've done and put it into a story. Stories are things that we connect with on a very emotional level, and we interact with stories quite differently than we interact with just a series of text in a list. So that's why we put it into a story and we put a picture there and we name this avatar so that we actually feel like they're a real person. So again, I've developed a worksheet for this, which you can download from my website. But the sequence of steps that you use to develop your customer avatar, your ideal customer, your ideal client avatar, are to do all of the research from the previous post. If you haven't already done that, you need to do that so that you've got a fairly clear picture, word picture of who you're going to connect with. Then you need to come up with a name for your representative client. Pick something that appeals to you. Really doesn't matter what you call them, just give them a name. That way they'll start feeling like a person to you. You want to also try and find a picture that represents, the kind of person who you want to be working with. There's lots and lots of image websites that you can go to. This image, you don't need to worry about it being available for commercial use, because your customer avatar is something that is an internal document for you to work with. Okay, so any picture that you find of a person that represents the kind of person who you like to deal with is fine. You probably don't want to use a celebrity though, unless you are particularly targeting celebrities. So, probably not photos of Brad or Angelina or Kim Kardashian or, you know, you want just a generic representative person. Then you need to take all of the research that you've done and weave it together into a story. So something like, you know, if you're going to choose the name, I don't know, Jake for your customer avatar. Jake is 27. He lives in the north of England. He works in a particular industry. He earns this kind of money. For fun, Jake does this because it makes him feel like this. So you weave in all of the information that you have done in your research. You incorporate into it the pain points, you know. So Jake stays awake every night wondering how he's going to feed his family. He really wants to learn how to develop a business on the internet. Okay, whatever the pain points are and the needs and the wants that you've identified, you weave them into a story. Then once you've got your document with the person's name, the picture and the text, you print it out and you put it near the computer or wherever it is that you do most of your work. So that as you're developing your products, as you're developing your marketing materials, you've got this picture there of your ideal customer, and you'll actually start to relate to that picture. You go, oh, would that appeal to Jake? Look, he's really into rock climbing, so, you know, maybe using that kind of analogy would help him to understand what I'm doing. So it's a way of really helping you to focus on your clients and to really try and get inside their heads. I found it really useful. I know a lot of people really swear by having this customer avatar around. Even if you don't do that, make sure you do at least do the research bit, even if you don't put it into the story. Again, I've developed a worksheet to help take you through this process. Click the link below and you'll be able to download that. Let me know how it goes. I'd be really interested to hear what you've done with it and if it's helped you. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.